And welcome into This Is a Place Arena for Lone Peak Boys Basketball on the Rewind Sports Network, presented by Heidemann and Associates. Dusty Litster with you, Addison Kerr running the camera, and intern Bauer running the system. Gonna have a fun one tonight. Quincy Lewis's first game against the Lone Peak Knights. Of course, Quincy Lewis, the legendary head coach of Lone Peak, winning so many state championships and a national championship as well. It is going to be Gabe Cowan jumping up against Chamberlain Burgess, and the jump ball taken by Cooper Lewis. Of course, Cooper and the Pioneers coming off a loss at Skyridge. Cooper Lewis against AF, 47 points, 6 threes on that night. As Grayson Brousseau inside, fall away, no. On the rebound, taken by Chamberlain Burgess, poked away by Cowan. Hawkins, no. And the board and run out here to Chamberlain Burgess. Chamberlain down the lane, Euro step, and it rolls off. It'll be Chamberlain Burgess going to the line to shoot 2 free throws. Foul goes to Bryson Bromley, number 1 on Bryson. As it is Haskett, Belcher, Burgess, Jackson Taylor, and Tom Kramer starting for Coach Rob Ross. Lone Peak comes in 8-7 on the year, 2-1 in region play. Lehi 13-3 on the year, 2-1 in region. Of course, that loss coming on Friday night when Tate Larson absolutely was torching it. That first quarter as Cooper Lewis pulls for 3 and hits. That saying, if Cooper Lewis gets going early, good luck if that thing is going. It'll be a tough night for Lone Peak if they don't get a clamp on number 1. Kramer outside to Burgess. Chamberlain goes to the corner. Extra pass. 3 on the way from Haskett. Back rim. Chamberlain battling for the board. And it's Cowan coming away with it. Quickly ahead. Bromley to Hawkins. Hawkins transition 3. Won't go. And Burgess with the rebound. Good to hear we got a viewer out in Fort Collins having a good spring practice. As a former Mr. Rewind, is a foul on the baseline, and it'll be Lone Peak ball. The foul goes to Grayson Brousseau. My younger brother's younger brother, Jackson Brousseau, of course, the future starting quarterback of Colorado State, watching the stream in Fort Collins. 6:34 left in the opening frame. Oh, they changed the foul to Hawkins. No. Oh, they called it a 2, not a 3. So change it to 2-2. Cooper Lewis's long-range shot along 2. Tom Kramer was looking into Belcher. Belcher comes away. As Kramer up top to Burgess. Chamberlain back to JT. Jackson Taylor misses on the 3. Rebound tipped around by Cowan. Burgess hits the deck. We got a loose. Jose out of bounds off of Lone Peak. Man, a lot of contact. This staff or this crew's going to have to figure out what they're going to do with it. I love letting them play, but as this game goes on, if it's close, you're just loading up the powder keg. Lewis can't handle that tough pass from Bromley. Belcher comes away with a loose ball up the floor to Taylor. Tom Kramer on the drive, sends it out to JT. Jackson Taylor can't get that one to go. Burgess with the rebound. Chamberlain out to Haskett, now to Kramer. Fresh 35 seconds for Lone Peak. Open the region play, 2-0. Tough night against American Fork. AF absolutely put on a clinic on Friday night as Haskett down the lane. Can't get it. Rebound loose, taken by Bromley. Bryson out to Cowan. Now to Hawkins. Easton off the bump. Can't get the bucket, but it'll put Hawkins. Are they going to put it on the shot? They will. So Seth Haskett picks up the foul and it puts Easton Hawkins at the line. Easton, a junior. And the free throw good. Always good to see Mama Hawkins, Kim, cross the way. Always filming the game. Always think of his dad. Always think of the Quincy Lewis's run in 2021. Tyler Hawkins was sending me every Canadian connection possible on the floor. Always think of his dad whenever he'd come into Lehi. Tom Kramer comes off the screen of Brousseau. Now Burgess hands back to Kramer. Tom on the drive all the way to the rim, and Thomas Kramer, an absolute X factor. If Thomas Kramer gets going, it's a good thing for Lone Peak. He's easy to do, especially without Isaac Staley. We got re-injured that leg against AF. The block, leak out. Here's Jackson Taylor. Bromley giving chase, and Taylor has that one stripped away. And it'll be Lone Peak basketball on the baseline. Jackson Taylor did not play in the second half on Friday. Found out he was had been dealing with an illness, was not feeling it. Did not play that second half, and hopefully he's feeling a little better tonight. Good hands by Bromley. Taylor can't get away. I don't get a reach there on Bromley. The first foul on Bromley, third. Probably number 2 on Bryson. Third team foul. Bryson have to come off the floor. Jace John comes on. Kramer nowhere to go, still looking. And then steal to Cowan, out of foul to Kramer. So, number 1 on Kramer, second team foul. Ty Cogswell comes on for Belcher. Got that ball on the Hawkins, a foul on the floor. Yeah, I would say not in his habitual shooting motion. Remember, no continuation. So no bucket, and it'll be Lehigh basketball on the baseline. It's into Cooper Lewis. Cooper 1 for 1 from the floor thus far. Pulls on the 3, no. Rebound to Burgess. Now on the run with Taylor. Burgess for 3, wide to the right, and the ball goes back to Lehi. And coming in now for Lone Peak is Enoch Mitchell. 3:54 left in the first quarter. All tied up at 4. Jace John over to Cowan. Cowan drives that. Burgess got past him, and he's fouled by Chamberlain. We're going to put Gabe Cowan at the line for 2 free throws. Number 1 on Chamberlain. And as the last foul to give by Lone Peak, it'll be 2 free throws for the last 3:40. As Gabe Cowan hits the first free throw. Cowan, a senior. And got them both. 2-point advantage now for Lehi. Burgess pulls on the 3, no, and then picks up the foul. Number 2 on Chamberlain Burgess. And the hard part about that one is on the far baseline. Oh, they called that on Jackson Taylor. So for Chamberlain, so number 1 on Jackson Taylor. I think Rob Ross saying, hey, you can't change it now. You've already put it in on Jackson Taylor. And so Rob Ross thought he's got an extra one there for Chamberlain Burgess. I don't blame him. But it's a loose ball. Well, it's a defensive foul, so it's going to be free throws. So they're going to keep it. No, they did. They changed it to Chamberlain Burgess. Number 2 on Chamberlain. Jackson needs to go sell that a little harder. He wants that one. So Cy Hansen goes to the line. And the first is no good. And Cy goes 1 of 2. So 3-point lead for Lehi. There's Cogswell, hands back to Kramer. Now Taylor. Jackson inside out to Enoch Mitchell. Kramer going to kiss it off the window. A nice take and make. 4 points in the quarter for Thomas Kramer. Hawkins off the bump from Enoch Mitchell. There'll be free throws for Easton Hawkins. And that's one that's tough for Enoch Mitchell to give up there. The junior you can try to hold your ground, but you're asking for it. And he's give up 2 free throws here to Easton Hawkins. Oh, lipped out the first. Got the second. So 1 of 2 there for Hawkins and a 2-point Pioneer lead with 2 minutes and 45 seconds left in the first quarter. Kramer over to Cogswell. Cogswell out to Belcher. Belcher fired into Kramer. Kramer hangs and hits. Nice job. He felt like he was having some pressure from behind by Hawkins, and he did. And the game tied at 8. Hawkins goes back the other way. Contest from Mitchell. That ball is off of Belcher. No, they're going to say off of Cy Hansen. That's where our angle kind of gets us. So all tied up at 8. Kramer. Looking on the dribble, nowhere to go. Sends it out to Cogswell. Cogswell hands off to Mitchell. Maybe missed a chance there on Cogswell as JT down the lane. Inside out. Just out of sorts. Out of sorts on the weave. Cooper Lewis sends that over to John. Cy Hansen back rims the triple. Rebound to Cogswell. On the run now with Taylor. And Hawkins read him. Knocked out of bounds. It'll be Lone Peak basketball. Enoch Mitchell. Cogswell goes at Hansen, got around him, sent it to the corner. Kramer three won't go. Belcher with the board and put back. Logan Belcher. They had a Lone Peak lead with 45 seconds left in the first quarter. Cooper Lewis, 4-3. A little Ray Allen look to his shot. Cooper's so fun to watch. Inside of 30 seconds left. Lone Peak in a run here. They're going to spread things out. Shot clock is turned off. Kramer on the weave to Mitchell. Enoch to the corner to Cogswell. Back up top to Kramer. Going to look for the final shot of the quarter. Kramer to Taylor. Off on the three. Rebound to Cooper Lewis. 5 seconds. Cooper with three. Good defense by Taylor. Cooper at the horn. Off the mark, and that will do it for the first quarter. And at the end of one, it is Lehi 11, Lone Peak 10. You're watching Lone Peak basketball on the Rewind Sports Network, presented by Heidemann and Associates. Start of the second quarter, 11-10 off the Cooper Lewis three right before the end of the quarter. Dusty Lister with you. Lone Peak basketball is always presented by Heidemann and Associates. Go to utah.law to find the law office nearest you. Get a free consultation. Just let them know that Rewind sent you. Again, that's Heidemann and Associates, utah.law. Outside, JT can't get the three off. Mitchell down the baseline, leaves it for Burgess. Or Chamberlain playing with 2 fouls. Sends back out Enoch Mitchell. Back rims a triple. And a rebound to Cooper. So Cooper Lewis on the run. Lob inside to Brousseau. Grayson with his bucket. No foul on that play. And a lead. 13-10. Jackson up top. Mitchell now over to Kramer. Belcher, baseline. Jay is there. That's what he likes. The little mid-range jumper from Logan Belcher. 4 points now for Belcher. In a 3-point game. Cooper, one leading scorers in the state of Utah. The three on the way and good by Caleb Moore. Caleb, don't call me Caden. Knocks down the three. And a 4-point lead now for Lehi. Timeout. Granted to Lone Peak. Almost had the... I think they're going 30-second timeout. Welcome back into This Is a Place Arena. First matchup for Quincy Lewis against his former team, the Lone Peak Knights, where Quincy Lewis won 7 state championships. Won 7 titles and a national championship in 2013. And his first year at Lehi after coaching at BYU, had 1 year where he was the athletic director at his high school, where he went to high school at Timpview, was the AD for a year, then came to Lehi, won a state championship in that first year. As Jackson Taylor can't get the three to go. The rebound to Brousseau, now on the run with Hawkins. Quincy built such an amazing program, so many good players that went through Lone Peak during that era. Nick Emery, and then Tyler Hawes, Zach Sharp, Hamilton that played in the NBA for so many years. And, of course, Frank Jackson, TJ Hawes, Nick Emery, and others. Eric Mika, what am I doing? Chamberlain Burgess on the drive, sends it back out to Kramer. And, of course, here at Lehi, got Noel Gonzalez, who's had an outstanding career at the Dixie State campus, Utah Tech, as the three is good from Jackson Taylor. And if you let 30 get going, that's what he can do. We saw that in their matchup last week, in their region matchup against Skyridge. Hit 4 threes in the second quarter last week. Is that ball out of bounds? Grayson, a little miscommunication there with Easton Hawkins. Now a chance for Lone Peak to reclaim the lead. First, Lone Peak won at PG. They went home and won against Skyridge. Had a 16-point lead in that game, held on to win. Then Ike went out against American Fort. Just could not hold off that offense as that ball turned over. Kramer, Haskett tried to pop that ball inside, out of bounds off of Caleb Moore. As Ty Cogswell comes on for Logan Belcher. Gabe Cowan comes on for Caleb Moore. Baseline J, no from Burgess. Everything right now for Chamberlain is all perimeter. Cooper Lewis can't get that one on the rebound to Chamberlain Burgess. Cogswell out to Haskett. Now Chamberlain. And then the foul given by Cowan. And it is the first team foul. First personal foul on Gabe Cowan. First foul of the quarter. So it's Kramer, Taylor, Haskett, Cogswell, and Burgess on the floor for Lone Peak. Kramer over to Taylor. JT already has 1-3 in the quarter, out of bounds off of Cooper. Quincy, always a salesman. I guess he was a recruiter, so he was a sales guy a little bit. Into Kramer as it's Hawkins, John, Cowan, Brousseau, and Lewis on the floor for Quincy Lewis. Cogswell, corner three, and a 2-point advantage now for Lone Peak. As we are halfway through the second quarter. Had a foul away from the ball. Oh, Kramer called for the foul. Number 2 on Kramer. Full teams with a foul apiece in the quarter. In a few minutes, we'll check in on PG at Skyridge as Cooper Lewis step back, long 2, and Cooper Lewis now with 7 points. That'd be interesting for Cooper to play against Lone Peak, a team he had a dream about playing for growing up, and probably with Chamberlain Burgess. Burgess' dad was an assistant for Cooper Lewis. Go in the lane, Burgess fouled, but Chamberlain at the line for 2. And the foul goes on Grayson Brousseau, number 2 on Grayson. The future tight end for the team up in Logan. And Chamberlain knocks down the first. And Cy Hansen comes on for Grayson Brousseau. Got them both. So lead back to 2 for Lone Peak. Cooper comes off the screen of Cowan. Got loose, pulls for 3, short. Good contest there from Haskett. Quincy cannot believe there wasn't a foul. He was saying he was vertical, the Mr. Official says. Well, I don't know how they grant the timeout. The ball was already inbounded to Lone Peak. Rob Ross is not going to contest, but I don't know how they grant the timeout to Quincy when the ball was inbounded. So, timeout on the floor. And get reminded we got coming up on our schedule this week. For Tuesday and Friday this week. On Friday night, we'll have Lone Peak at Westlake. Boys and girls. The girls go first at 6 o'clock. The doubleheader. Skyridge at American Fort. Davis at Weber. East at Alta. And Copper Hills at Harriman. So we're checking that one out tonight. Obviously, Lone Peak at Lehi, PG at Skyridge, Davis at Farmington, Copper Hills at Riverton. Our matchups this evening. Of course, Riverton, an upstart team in Region 2. And Skylar Wilson, longtime head coach at Riverton. Got a good team this year. Kramer drives past Hanson to the rim. Can't get it to go. Cowan came in on that contest, changed the angle. Could not finish. Bromley back in the game. Remember, he got 2 fouls quickly. He'll pull for 3. Rebound to Hanson. Hanson sends it back out. Burgess tipped it. Picked up by Haskett. Haskett goes at Bromley. Good contest by Bromley, and Haskett able to finish. (22-18). Bryson drop it into Hawkins. Little shake and bake fall away from Easton Hawkins. 22-20. Cogswell into Burgess. Burgess lost it into the hands of Hawkins, try to feed it ahead, and it's Haskett with the steal. Burgess goes around Hanson. We'll have a foul first on Hanson. Remember, you can stay straight up, but if you're walking into him, you're taking away that space. That's where the foul comes. You can stay straight up, but if you're moving, you're not vertical. You're actually moving. So for verticality, you lose verticality if you go forward, back, or side to side. So if your hand's straight up and he runs into you, you're good. You go hands straight up and move, well, you're not vertical anymore. Tom Kramer out there with Hanson. Looking at Burgess. Kramer on the drive, blocked away by Hanson. On the run with Hawkins. Easton try to find Bromley, stolen by Belcher. Transition 3. Jackson can't get it to go. Rebound, loose ball foul on Cowan. That'll be the 14th foul on Lehi. It'll be baseline inbound for the Knights. As that's going to bring Caleb Moore off the bench. Number 2 on Cowan. So Moore comes in for Cowan. 14 fouls on the Pioneers. Oh, nice job moving without the ball. Tom Kramer, good job. Burgess stayed patient off the termination. And Kramer moves out the basketball and a nice dime from Chamberlain Burgess. 55 seconds. Cooper, no. And another loose ball foul. This one's going to be on 32, Caleb Moore. Oh, no, we'll call it on Chamberlain. No. Oh, the foul's on Belcher. Rob Ross said I actually saw that the same way. I didn't see Belcher. Then quickly to Hawkins. Hawkins got past Kramer, blocked away by Burgess. Moore gives it up to Hanson. Hanson will jump it up and crawl it home. Little Al Jefferson finish there. The Wheezy finish from Cy Hanson. 4-second difference between game clock and shot clock. Kramer back to Haskett. A good jump there by Bromley. 15 seconds. 9 seconds. Got that ball to Burgess, couldn't finish. Loose ball back to Chamberlain, who got the bucket. 1 second, that'll do it. As we go to the break, it is Lone Peak 26, Lehi 22. You're watching Lone Peak basketball on the Rewind Sports Network, presented by Heidemann and Associates. Welcome back into this Place Arena. Dusty Litster with you. Start of the second half, Lone Peak with a 4-point advantage. As always, Lone Peak boys basketball on the Rewind Sports Network, presented by Heidemann and Associates, the presenting sponsor of the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com. The first half, low scoring as Brousseau can't get that one to go. And back down the floor we go with Lone Peak. Couldn't find offensive rhythm in the first half. Able to find enough as Belcher passes up the baseline J and then goes for it, blocked by Cowan. And now we have a foul to Jackson Taylor. It'll be his first personal foul. Number 2 on Taylor, and I hope they pulled the first one. That's his first. I'll see what the official score for Lone Peak has. Because remember, we had the miscommunication about who the foul was on, either he or Burgess, as Brousseau. A tough take and make there by Grayson Brousseau. As Kramer sends that one over to Belcher. Now to Burgess. Chamberlain, you talk about unorthodox takes and makes. That is that one right there. But a nice take and make there by Chamberlain Burgess. As Hawkins on the long 2, no. Rebound to Kramer. Tom hands off to Burgess. Misses on the 3, gets his own board, and the foul to Cowan. I think that's number 3 on Cowan. But Chamberlain Burgess at the line for 2. That's actually it is number 3 on Cowan. And Chamberlain hits the first. Chamberlain in his third year contributing here to Lone Peak. As a freshman, he started toward the end of his freshman year. Started last year as a sophomore, and of course starting now as a junior. He'll have one more year. That ball goes in and out. So it goes 1 of 2 from the stripe and a 5-point Lone Peak lead. So here's Bromley. Lehi number 2 in the 6A RPI. Oh, I love the ball fake from Grayson. Volley on the baseline. Won't go. Quickly down the floor is Hawkins. Probably is Kramer with Hawkins. Tom out to Belcher. Kramer inside Belcher. Bromley hits the deck. Oh, and they go with the charge. I 100% agree. Rob Ross is frustrated. He's not been warned. Ross is saying, hey, he came underneath him as he was getting the ball. Because the whole thing on the charge is, is he in defensive position before the offensive player leaves his feet? And now the technical foul to Rob Ross. Danny Ashworth's got to come out and get Rob. Cannot give up the second tee. He was warned again, and before taking that technical foul. Rob got to be careful. So Cooper Lewis to the line. It'll be 2 and the ball. And so the 5-point lead could evaporate. Cooper hits both. If Cooper hits both free throws and hits a 3, the 5-point lead evaporates off of the frustration on what he thought was a potential +1 on the other end of the floor. This is a very experienced crew. I mean, this is a state tournament crew tonight here at Lehi. And they're asking Coach Ross to take a seat after the technical foul. Go down to the baseline, and one to Cooper. That's what we talked about. Got the technical foul. Cooper Lewis hits the free throws. Now is a +1, a chance to tie the game. And now a 30-second timeout to Lone Peak. So timeout on the floor. We'll take it. We'll try to stay positive. We'll be right back. You're watching Lone Peak Basketball on the Rewind Sports Network. Welcome back in as Lehi feeling themselves. It was a 29-24 game. We had the charge down the baseline. Belcher had the bucket. They wipe off the bucket, give a charge. Coach Ross was teed up after being irritated by that call. Cooper Lewis hit both free throws, got a +1 on the possession, and does get the 5 straight points, and it is tied at 29. How does Lone Peak respond? Belcher in the corner. Out to Burgess. Kramer on the drive. Kramer puts the brakes on. Sends it back out to Haskett. Seth Haskett for 3. Yes! Big shot there by Seth Haskett. Good response there from Lone Peak. And a 3-point advantage. Rousseau back to Lewis. Cooper pulls off the mark and a rebound loose. And we'll have a loose ball foul called on Caleb Moore. Number 3 on Caleb. Or probably number 1 on Caleb. Number 2 on Lehi in the quarter. As Kramer goes into Burgess. Chamberlain over to Belcher. Little jumper is good. Logan Belcher knows his spot, man. Knows his spot, knows his range. Like Noah Hartsock, 2011 BYU team. He knows exactly where he needed to be. As Brousseau gives that one up to Hawkins. And Easton Hawkins gets the bucket. 3-point ball game. Kramer down the lane. Foul. No, wipe it off. Caught on the floor. And that will be the 13th foul on Lehi. Number 2 on Moore. As Cy Hansen comes on for Grayson Brousseau. Thomas Kramer takes that foul. And here's the thing I talked about in the first half. It was so physical in the first quarter. I mean, beyond physical, kind of letting them settle in the game. But he set a precedent what was going to go as Cooper Lewis can't get it. Hansen blocked away by Burgess, and they got him with a foul. So the foul to Chamberlain Burgess. I think that's number 3 on Chamberlain. It'll be 2 free throws there to Cy Hansen. I thought he was on the ball there. So Burgess with his third. It'll be free throws remaining, 3:51. And Cy hits the first. They're apart from Lone Peak. They have 3 timeouts left for the final 11:51 of this game. As Hansen got the first, short and rolls in the second. So 34-33. Chamberlain fouled on the drive. That'll be the last foul to give for Lehi. And immediately, Caleb Moore's third foul of the quarter. Third personal foul, all 3 of them in the quarter. So Gabe Cowan comes back on as he's got 3 personal fouls. Chamberlain goes at Cy Hansen. Got around him, can't finish, no call. On the run with Cooper Lewis. Cooper in the lane, floated up and score it. And Lehi takes a 35-34 lead. 3:20 on a rolling clock in the third. Kramer over to Cogswell. Tie terminates. So often, Lone Peak gets stuck with a 4 or 5 and they terminate. They take one little dribble to terminate, and it just has caused problems. This isn't the only game that's done that. Here comes Kramer. Sends it out to Burgess, over to Haskett. Now Cogswell. Got around Hansen, and he's fouled on the drive. See if they call it on the shot. Well, it doesn't matter. It's 2 free throws either way. The foul to Cy Hansen. It'll be 2 free throws for Ty Cogswell. As now all of a sudden all the contact that was getting away in the first half has been tightened up. I'm not talking about it before. I'm talking about in the first half. Go back and look at it. Talk about, hey, if you let all this contact go, you're just filling the powder keg of this game, and now they've tried to tighten it back up. Well, they have tied it up. They haven't tried. They just have. First free throw good, tied at 35. And a 1-point Lone Peak lead is Cogswell, the junior. Hits both of his free throws. Grayson Brousseau going at Cogswell. Oh, nice find underneath and an easy lay-in to Gabe Cowan. Beautiful find from Brousseau. Kramer sends that ball out. Taylor, they said, blocked before the contact. Down the floor with Hawkins. Give it up to Cowan. And it's a 3-point lead for Lehi. 39-36. Defense led to offense there for Lehi. Frustration for Lone Peak continues. Into Burgess. Cowan knocked it out of bounds. It'll remain Lone Peak basketball. So Moore comes on as Cowan comes off. Going to try to save that foul. He has 2 fouls remaining. All set. Tough spot to inbound from as Haskett gets it into Kramer. Out to Cogswell. Burgess over to Haskett. Bromley right there with him. Lewis jumped the passing lane. That ball's off of Cooper, and that will be Lone Peak basketball. It'll be 6 seconds on the shot clock. As Lone Peak's got to see this. We've had this issue a couple of times this year. They got to see the shot clock, 6 seconds. No, it wasn't a change of possession, so the shot clock stays on. Goes into Thomas Kramer. 5 seconds. Kramer down the lane with 3, 2. What a finish by Kramer. And a 1-point game. Beautiful take and make by Kramer at the end of the shot clock. 1:35 on a rolling clock in the third. Cooper Lewis. Burgess fouled him, and it puts Cooper at the line for 3. Got him on the wrist on the shot. Number 4 on Chamberlain. Cooper to the line for 3 free throws. We got to get him off the. We got to get him off the floor. And Coach Ross kind of is again confused. Remember, they had the issue about who the foul was on here. Jackson Taylor, as Belcher's going to have to come off the bench. As Cooper hits his second, and has one more. And Cooper goes 3 of 3. So that fourth foul of Chamberlain, the costly one, is all 3 free throws good there by Cooper Lewis. Minute and a half left in the third quarter, and a 4-point advantage for Lehi. Into the corner to Belcher. Up top, Haskett. Oh, good cut there by Kramer. Good defense by Hawkins, knocking that ball out of bounds. The Lone Peak basketball on the baseline. Into Belcher. Bromley with him. Belcher fits that into Haskett into the corner to Cogswell. Wasn't loose. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Oh, kind of mistimed that pass. Picked up by Lewis. Come back the other way. Cooper hangs and rolls it in. Largest lead of the night for Lehi, 6 points. Belcher, good defense by Brousseau. Someone's got to come get the ball. 5 second, closely guarded. Lucky on that one. Here's Hawkins. There, Cogswell, and then the foul given to Brousseau. What could have been a steal and run out. Number 3 on Grayson. That is the 15th foul and 2 free throws there. And Ty Cogswell goes the line. Back rims to first. So Cy Hansen comes on for Quincy Lewis. Enoch Mitchell going to come on for Rob Ross. Along with Austin Simon. Get his guards off the floor, not giving up any fouls there. Cogswell goes 0 for 2. Lehi can really make it hurt. Shot clock turned off inside of 30 seconds. Down to 25 left in the quarter. Up top of Cooper with 15. Down to 10. 5 seconds. Cooper. Step back long. 2. No. Board and put back there by Moore. What a quarter. Caleb Moore had 3 fouls in the quarter. He gets the buzzer-beating putback. As we go to the fourth quarter, it's Lehi 46, Lone Peak 38. You're watching Lone Peak Boys Basketball on the Rewind Sports Network. Start of the fourth quarter, Lehi on quite a run. It was 39-34 at one point, or probably 29-24. That point, it's been a lot of Lehi basketball as Burgess can get the foul on the floor on Cy Hansen. I'm telling you, this game is going to be, the first quarter, it was a free-for-all, and it's been super tight that whole third quarter. It's nearly, you name the player, and they're in foul trouble for the most part. And that's the 5th personal foul on Chamberlain Burgess. That's number 5. There is no rhyme or reason to anything in this game. And I have become very, I don't want to say pro-official, but try to explain things for officials about why and what and anything else. I can't explain the last quarter in 15 seconds. I can't explain it. That was a total, I mean, you saw it coming too. Chamberlain's got to know a little bit, but that was a total setup on the baseline. You had the frustrating foul call on the block, and when Burgess gets the ball back, you know that defender's hitting the deck. Cy Hansen's hitting the deck if he touches him or not. It's just, yeah, it's frustrating. So Burgess out of the game for the entire fourth quarter. They played with fire, and the fire got him. As Moore hands back to Bromley. Bromley outside to Cy Hansen. Hansen hand back. Cooper Lewis rises for 3. In and out, and the rebound to Cogswell. You would have needed a safety if he would have hit that three. The whole safety student section would have gone nuts. Belcher, long two, just outside of his range, and the rebound taken by Hawkins. Hawkins inside out. Moore off on the three. Foul to Hansen. Cy Hansen can't complain about that one. That was a loose ball foul. It has one team foul apiece. I think sometimes our guys get stuck watching NBA ball a little too much, where NBA players never think they foul anybody. So that's the fourth on Cy Hansen. Inside out to Haskett. Haskett down the lane, got stuck. And a foul on the drive. The foul to Reed Bromley. That's number 3 on Bromley. Bryson Bromley. Reed's going to feel good about that. And here's the other interesting thing, too. Bromley grew up wanting to be a Lone Peak Knight. Rhonda Bromley was a longtime principal at Lone Peak. We saw her on Friday night. So he grew up wanting to be a Lone Peak Knight. Kramer on the drive, hands back to Cogswell. Cogswell, good hedge, tough pass. Somehow got that ball to Tom Kramer. Good poke away by Cooper Lewis. Cogswell, 10 seconds on the shot clock inside to Logan Belcher. Belcher with the bucket. 6-point ball game, down to 2 possession. Cooper goes to Grayson. A good big man matchup. Grayson got inside. And Grayson Brousseau, been a 4-year contributor. He was part of that state championship team as a freshman. Drop it into Belcher. Kramer on the drive. Reverse side and scores. Tom Kramer's got to be the dude. Thomas Kramer and Jackson Taylor have got to get going offensively. If Lone Peak's going to have a shot, they'll come back in this game down 6. Bromley off the handoff over to Cooper Lewis. Off on the 3. Kramer with battling with Hawkins. Got the ball to Haskett. Here comes Cogswell. Seth Haskett hit a 3 in the third quarter. Over to Kramer. Kramer going to drive at Moore. Got the foul on Moore. That's number 4 on Moore. Unless it was number 5. I think it's 4. There's a bit Tom Kramer at the line to shoot 2. Oh, they called on Easton Hawkins. Full timeout. We'll take it with them. 5:18 left on the fourth quarter. We'll come back. Free throws for Lone Peak. So out of the timeout, Thomas Kramer at the line. So Thompson at the line. Makes the first. So 48-43. Kramer can make it a 4-point ball game. Hit both of his free throws. And he does. So Thompson Kramer doing his job. Got it down to 4. Got to play defense and get some buckets. And you got to try to keep a lid on number 1. He's missed a couple of fire balls here in the second half. Oh, a little shake and bake to the rim. And Cooper Lewis lays that up and in. Thompson Kramer comes back in a 6-point game again. Now Haskett. Haskett will pull for 3. Ball was short, online and short. Out of bounds off of Lone Peak. A good battle between Belcher and Brousseau. Down low. Lehi can open it up to 8 again. Grayson hands off to Cooper. Cooper fall away, yes. That kid can get going. Cooper Lewis, mentioned, had 47 against American Fort. They've been quiet-ish tonight. Thompson Kramer off on the three, rebound to Jackson Taylor. Tried to save it off of Bromley. Picked up by Cowan. Cowan comes back the other way, floated up, and score it. And Lehi getting some distance, now up double digits. Largest lead of the night for the Pioneers. And the hard part for Lone Peak, down Isaac Staley, who did not play tonight, now down Chamberlain Burgess, who fouled out 15 seconds into the quarter. There's a steal. Cooper going on a little run. Lays it up and in, and now 12 points. And another timeout to Lone Peak. 3:46 left in the fourth. Lehi stretches it out to 12. .346 left in the fourth quarter. Lone Peak down to one timeout left. Got to find some offense, but it has been Cooper Lewis doing business in the fourth quarter. Haskett's got blood on him. They got to get that cleaned up before they can resume. Haskett couldn't find where the blood was. Mr. Official's trying to help him. The Lehi student section was trying to help. I don't know if they meant to help, but they were yelling, trying to help as Stockton Knight comes on. And good for Stockton, wearing number 12. Thompson Kramer goes into the corner to Suarez down the baseline, sends it out for three. Kramer hits it. I see some fight left here in Lone Peak. Got it down 9. Full court press on. Brousseau back to Cooper. And now Quincy Lewis takes a timeout. 30-second timeout. We'll go ahead and keep it here. We've been sending you in and out of timeouts for the whole second half. And again, Friday night we got a good schedule for you. We'll have the doubleheader Lone Peak boys and girls. And also remind you, we're going to be launching something new. So Dane Stewart and I do KSL Sports Rewind, and trying to keep up in basketball and make those videos timely with all the games that go on is difficult to do. So one thing we're launching is the Rewind podcast. It'll be 3 times a week starting. We'll do 2 this week. We'll start 3 times a week starting next week. We're going to get you updated on what's going on in games. We'll have hopefully some coaches interviews, player interviews, and it'll be just a lot of fun. To be able to do the podcast because it's a little more free form, but on that be more timely to get to go through scores and big things that happen throughout the week. Again, Rewind Podcast, you'll find that on KSLSports.com and anywhere that you get your podcasts. As Haskett going to be called for the foul. So Haskett frustrated, but the foul there. Second team foul on Lone Peak. Number 4 on Haskett. So Cooper sends that ball over to Bromley. Cooper drop it in to Brousseau. Grayson going to work on Suarez. Good hands there by Sam. And now the foul on the baseline. No, traveling violation first. Grayson has to laugh it off. So the ball goes back to Lone Peak. 2:45 on the running clock here in the fourth. Kramer dribbles away from the double team. Hands back to Jackson Taylor. Pull on the 3. No. Suarez can't get a handle on it. And now he's going to pick up a foul. So Bromley goes down. Going to test his intestinal fortitude there. Thirteen foul on the night, so 2:20 left in the fourth. A barn burner at the Marriott Center. Ahead to Hawkins. Hawkins going to float it up. No. Rebound to Taylor. Jackson cross court to Thompson Kramer. Enoch Mitchell. They had a big fella on him. Thought I'd see him take a drive there. And it'll go Kramer. Kramer will. 16-15 on the shot clock. Kramer past Brousseau to the rim and lays it in. Back door to Hawkins. And Hawkins gets the easy two. Puts the lead back up to 9. Thompson Kramer in order to go with the ball. And the final timeout to Lone Peak. 1:19 left. So timeout on the floor. We'll take our final timeout and we'll be right back. 1:19 left in the fourth quarter. Welcome back in. Dusty Lister with you as Lone Peak hanging here. Down 9. They got to score and score quickly. And then you get some help with some missed free throws as well. Kramer over to Haskett. Out to Enoch Mitchell. Enoch on the drive is fouled. Put him at the line to shoot 2. Got to make your free throws at the clock stop. So Enoch Mitchell at the line hits the first. So that's number 4 on Moore. And got the free throws. 58-51. Just over a minute left. Got to get a turnover, defensive stops, miss some free throws. As Cooper brings it across the timeline. And now the foul, not called. Kramer gave up the foul. They didn't blow the whistle on it. Kramer gave it. No whistle, turnover. And it's Lone Peak ball. The chance to make it a 2-possession game with a 3. 50 seconds even. But no timeouts left for Lone Peak. That's a big part. Oh, Kramer, that ball in and out of his hands. And then a turnover to Lehi. Mitchell with the steal, but he was out of bounds. But what I was going to get to is that if Lone Peak had hit the 3, remember the clock does not stop on a made bucket in high school basketball. So the clock is going to continue to run. And with no timeouts left, Lone Peak has no way to stop the clock. So it would have been a tall task even with keeping that possession and hitting a 3 as Hawkins lays it in. And that's the nail. Remember, so up the floor with Simon. Takes the bump, got it back. That's traveling. Yeah. Even off the bump, the ball wasn't touched, so turnover. With 18 seconds to go. So Lone Peak's going to fall to 2-2 in region play. Lehi will improve to 3-1. Suarez comes away with the loose ball to Simon. Bromley's going to give up the foul. Didn't need to. It'll be 2 free throws now for Austin Simon, the junior. Number 4 on Bryson. And just under 10 seconds left in this one. As Simon hits the first. And he has one more. We're going to look out for tomorrow. We'll have our first podcast out. Rewind the podcast. And Simon hits both. 9.6 seconds left. And that will do it. Zelly need to bring it into the front court. Cooper Lewis will hang on to it. And in his first matchup against his old squad, it is Quincy Lewis taking this one 60-53. Lehi over Lone Peak. Lehi again improves to 3-1 in region play. Lone Peak falls to 2-2 in region 3 play. Your Heineman and Associates players of the game for Lone Peak. We're going to go Thompson Kramer. Kid did everything he could do tonight. And for Lone Peak, or probably for Lehi rather, it's going to be Cooper Lewis. Cooper got everything done he needed to get done. It's absolutely outstanding. Again, our final score. Lehi 60, Lone Peak 54. Players of the game, Thompson Kramer and Cooper Lewis. For Addison Kerr and intern Bauer, I'm Dusty Lister. Thanks for joining us and for watching Lone Peak Basketball on the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com.